Please tell me this is gonna work. Oh, it worked. Yes. I figured out, you guys, that I just completely log out of my app and re-log in, and that seems to be maybe the magic that puts it together. Okay, so now, I know I'm live, but now let's find our conversation. Okay, where are we? Something is happening big. I can't catch my breath. My mouth is parched. Hi, Mel. Hi, Sue Ellen. I'm glad you guys are here. Hi, Jocelyn, Joy. Hi, Larry, girl. Yeah, I just had to strike while the iron was hot and see you guys. Hi, Connie. Hi, Cartomancy. Rhonda. Hi. How are you guys feeling? Kind of pandemonium-like? Kind of nuts? Hi, Sherry Ann. Puppy talk. I know you can't handle this much longer, but they're in much worse shape. Hola. Hi, Lori, EVA. Hi, Christine and Robin, Rhonda. Hi, Elise. Tired and odd. I think that's a great way to describe it. We're coming up to a third quarter moon. Mostly what I've been doing, if you guys have been following me on Twitter, I've just been listening to audiobooks at a higher speed. I finished Melania and Me. I'm on Disloyal right now and Compromised. I can't even imagine trying to watch the news right now because it's insane. It's crazy. But I will tell you, Melania and Me's book gave me the insight on how truly massive this is, and that Stephanie Winston Wolkoff really was at the center of all the investigations, because she names every single one she interacted with. And she gave me some good new names that we haven't heard of, who in these teroscopes, they are caught up. Like, for example, the treasurer of the Republican Party, National Party, or for the convention, that guy is in trouble. Tom Barrack is in so much trouble. His capital, whatever, his business is in a lot of trouble. There's a woman named Sarah Armstrong who signed off on everything, so she's in trouble as well. I did not realize how huge I did, but she named everyone. And I just want to give praise to Stephanie Winston Wolf, whatever, SWW, for writing her book. That must have been terrifying for her. They took advantage of her, tried to pin everything on her. I am going to appreciate her and her imperfections for being so blind to the horrible character of Melania and the Trumps. I think one of the last quotes in her book was, "I enabled Melania, and our friendship was based on that," for 14 years. And she realized what she did. She was blinded by their horrible character. But you know what? SWW is a consummate professional and detail-oriented and very detail-oriented. And if we didn't have her there, this would have been a bigger mess. So I'm appreciating her and her imperfections of who she is, her insecurities, coming full circle in redemption. She has done what she needs to do. And the fact that when she finished her book, her last investigation, because she also was subpoenaed to the House Select Intel Committee and someone else. There are 3 subpoenas she had, but she had to stay silent for 180 days as part of the disclosure agreement. She essentially had a gag order. And I think it would go for 180 days and then it would expire. I think that was extended several times, but what it seems to me is happening, and this should be really good news, so you guys just take a deep breath, relax, we're here together, we have everything we need. It's what we can't see that is making you all scared. So I'm just going to tell you what I see. I think that with her book, Michael Cohen's book, Peter Strzok, and now Rage by Woodward, I wonder if they were all under some sort of non-disclosure agreement, minus Bob Woodward. And I feel like all those intervals of 180-day extensions that you can't talk about anything, I think they all expired. And that's why all these books are coming out now and more. And they knew when it was going to expire because they could all, this was probably the earliest release date that they all could get for their books. So I think the investigations about the inaugural committee, Michael Cohen's role with Individual One, Peter Strzok, they've given everything they could possibly give, and those parts of those investigations I think are complete. And the fact that Steve Bannon is arrested, oh my God, like it makes me want to faint, all of this stuff. And so usually when my throat gets dry like this, maybe there's impending doom and gloom. But I am telling you, my body is shaking, like happiness, joyful shaking, like when you're going to get the happiest news and good is on the horizon, like when your favorite teams win their championships and you can almost taste it. My body is excited like that. So there is so much going on, and I think that the Department of Justice yesterday saying they were going to take on Donald's case, I'm like, what is that? That's a sideshow. It was to distract on everything else coming forth, in my opinion. The trials started this week in the UK with Julian Assange. That was started after a 4-month hiatus because of COVID. That's why Snowden had been surfacing in discussion to, prime people's brains to be forgiving. So much stuff has happened, and then they throw this garbage to look the other way. And then today, I had to laugh about Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, and who else is going to be SCOTUS? The third one, Tom Cotton. I had to look at their teroscopes. They're not going to be SCOTUS. That was Donald sending a message. I will protect you. You have to protect me, because Cruz seems to line up with, like they each had a different role. Now, where is it? They each had a different role. I think, oh gosh, I don't want this to fall. Ted Cruz is to protect Melania and Ivanka and WikiLeaks. Josh Hawley is more to protect the Presidential Inaugural Committee, and Tom Cotton is there to protect North Korea. That's how I saw that messaging today. It's all garbage. And then when you listen to Michael Cohen's book, and you listen to him about how he describes Donald's behavior and what he says and what he actually means, it makes all the sense in the world to me. So I'm not worried about that, because everything is about staging till the bitter end. It's all about staging. That's what we're saying. And now that there's a green light where all this information can come forward, get ready, because this is kind of the tipping point why everything is tipping. And astrologically, there's significant reasons as such. Okay, let me check in with you guys real quick. T-Barb, I know you hate Facebook, but I've been using it to bring all the news out. Join Nasty Women Indiana, and we are at 17,000 strong. Way to go, T-Barb. It's okay, Larry girl. I know we're all tired. No worries. Cohen is starting a weekly podcast. That's good to hear. Of course, you're welcome. Yeah, I think I have all these books on audio, and I think I'm going to get compromised in hardcover copy, because just the first, I think, 2 pages of that book I listened to, I was taking notes. I'm in the 3rd or 4th chapter right now, and he's talking about oh my gosh, listen to this. So he's talking about the Americans. That TV show that came out was based on the true story about how he discovered embedded spies in the U.S. I don't know, was it in DC? No, it was in Boston. And this couple who were from Russia, they actually came from Canada. So they got married and went to Canada, did their thing. He went to graduate school in Boston. So this is Peter Strzok, tells a whole story about how they take them down and they arrest them. And what I didn't know was, remember the Skruples being poisoned in the UK? That father and his daughter, they were poisoned by the Novichok in March of 2018. Well, when the U.S. did a spy exchange and sent the Americans off, there was a swap for spies. Was it at Heathrow? I don't know what airport it was at, but there was a swap for spies, and then people went on their way. The Skruples were part of that exchange. A decade later, here they show up. I had no idea. But in the way that Peter Strzok describes his job, why they do the things they do, he kind of outlines kind of what their mission is at the FBI and why they look at things, why they don't look at other things, and what their guiding purpose is, and really how difficult it is. He makes me so proud of the FBI and their thoroughness and attention to detail. Every question I have had, I've probably tweeted these things out, or I've said them on the fly, or you guys are like, you should let the FBI know, that type of thing, or whatever inside. They were already on it. In fact, the FBI, when they were coming together after the inauguration in a private meeting trying to decide whether or not they should open investigation on the president and is he a threat to national security, in those conversations they were having, oh my gosh, I just lost my thought. The FBI, they wanted to they knew then his money line going back to Moscow since 1987. So in January 2017, before they opened all these other investigations, and then there were investigations that were already opened, they already knew about his money trail since 1987 with Moscow. They knew so much inside and out. But here's the thing, the key words, and I almost bust out laughing about this, was that they, given all of the investigations that they had, all the information that they already had, did they need to open up an investigation into the president regarding Russian interference in the election? And they said no. And I was like, what? Because they had all they needed to know about the Russian interference with the election. But that didn't mean, Peter Strzok does not disclose whether or not, we were deciding an investigation on this, an investigation on that, la 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 la. It almost sounds like you think that was the only investigation they were trying to decide, but then they decided no, because they already had everything. Do you see where I'm going with that? And then there was, I wish I had marked it, but there was a passage he said, which was a tell for me. It was very subtle on the depth of information that they have on Donald. And because there's information they have to withhold and hold back. But listening to him, it is so reassuring on so many levels. So that made me feel good. Melania's book made me feel good for that. Cohen's book makes me feel like I'm seeing what I'm seeing, and I'm hearing what I'm hearing, and what I think he's saying is what he's really saying, and he translates everything. And I'm only a couple chapters into that one. All of this has brought me so much reassurance that everything's good. What's happened now, I think that these 180-day disclosure agreements have finally expired with the government, and now everyone's publishing their stuff, and you know, Donald and all are getting wind of this, so that is why it's been pandemonium, trying to incite violence, trying to scare people. They've got their people on the ground with the PBs, boys, all that stuff happening in the background is for a reason, because of all this stuff that's coming to a head. Okay, I need to get a drink. I tell you, my throat is so parched. So, I hope that brings you some good insights, some calm. Remember this medal? Let's just take a look at it again. My grandfather's medal from World War II. Everybody got this. Here, where are we? The United States of America, 1941 to 1945. Freedom from fear and want. Freedom of speech and religion. That's why we killed Nazi NAZIS and FASCI STSs. There's a reason why, and we continue doing that work. Freedom from fear, you guys. You have freedom from fear and want right now. Get it. Go there. You'll feel invincible. Okay, so right now, I kind of want to bring us on the same page here, because we have a quarter moon happening later tonight. I haven't even looked at that chart, but I said some things in my quick read the other night that I want to follow up, make sure we're on the same page. First of all, the moon is about 14 degrees Gemini. When I was talking about this quarter moon, I was like, you guys, in a couple days, something big's going to happen. We're going to get all this information about USA defending herself, and it's going to hit the eclipse click point from January 10th, and then the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So let me just show those really quickly to you. And I got that because two things happened here. We have the sun, which represents Photis here in the third house of communications, where he's doing his negotiations and his contracts. And so this was last Wednesday, a week ago Wednesday. The sun was about 10 degrees. So I knew in about 4 days or so that when the sun moved past this point, the lower heaven, karma, ancestors, how we defend ourselves, the tone would change. There'd be a different focus. And what we had with people in these Knights of Wands were Donald's minions, the proud bees, and the white supremacists, those people on attack against peaceful protesters. But then the sun was going to stay here for a while. I also was like, oh my gosh, 14 degrees. What is that all about? That's a significant degree. So right now the moon is over here at 14 degrees Gemini. It is in square to the top of the chart, the midheaven, the highest point of Photis for the week. It's squaring him in that power and the confusion. There's tension there. What's real, what's not. With the secrets that are hidden from everyone, it's also squaring the bottom of the chart, how USA defends itself and its karma. So that's what the moon is bringing out right now. A lot of confusion, a lot of deceit, a lot of information about a lot of people, But it's like, because the moon is in this hidden area, it's like we don't know where this is coming from. So it just keeps erupting and erupting and erupting endlessly, Neptune, endlessly. And it's very emotional. There's a moon, confusion, emotions over Washington, D.C. And this chart, what gave us life this week over D.C., was very emotional in nature. And it triggered the new moon eclipse from last December 26th. Okay? So that's kind of where all these feelings are coming from. We've got all this tension. Like some things are flowing really easy where you see the blue, but other things is just like ramming your head against the wall over and over and over. And this planet Mars in Aries retrogrades tomorrow. So if it feels like we've kind of come to we're coming to kind of a halt, kind of like if you're on a giant swing and you hit the peak of your swing, you can't go anymore. Things start to fall backwards. That's where the energy is going backwards. We are going to, as it hits this tip and when it first retrogrades, it's going to it'll benefit Donald more. It's very comfortable energies for him. But once that gets momentum going backwards, it's going to be a poop show because all this other stuff is retrograde. And when things are retrograde, you are looking at the past action, past ideas, past aggressions. You cannot move forward on anything new. We're reevaluating. And so you might want to try to get your balance here before the first day of fall, because the first day of fall is an immediate eclipse click from the first day of summer. So here's what you need to know. Between now and the first day of fall, there isn't a whole lot of wiggle room for this administration. It's kind of like everyone's kind of hit their peak. We're also at the end of summer. So the things that were being created over summer, there's not a whole lot of growing room. There's not a lot of juice for this to go anywhere. Even though Donald's going to be tweeting crap, saying crap, open this, open, it can't go anywhere. We're at the end of this growing season. We've maxed out. He doesn't want anyone to know that we've maxed out, but we have, okay? So we have a quarter moon tomorrow. We have a new moon in Virgo. And then I think we start the fall. So there's still some room to work, but not a lot. Not a lot. Okay. So I said this 14-degree mark was really, really, really important. Wait till you see this. Because it's full moon Cancer, Friday, January 10th. Now remember, this is around the time that Soleimani was killed, the time that the Iraqis, I think, shot down the Ukrainian plane. And I think around that time, maybe Iran was retaliating against the Iraqis. And they went to go shoot up something maybe in Iraq, but they accidentally, maybe on purpose, hit American troops who were concussed, and he blew that off. That's what was going on then. So it's no wonder that kind of things are heating up with all this talk with Iran, Iraq, international, Khashoggi, saying, oh yeah, we're killing, 9 people were penalized for the death of Khashoggi. No. That's just sideshow. Now we're pulling people out of, in the Middle East. I think that's related to what Khashoggi did. But unfortunately, Jared is accountable. And, well, anyway, you guys know I'm preaching to the choir. So what happened then? And just right now this evening, the moon, 14 degrees Gemini. So again, where is the sun right now? It's about 17. Oh, Jupiter is at 17 degrees. So that has been, Jupiter has been hanging out here from the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Remember the change in structure and power of world governments, right? Jupiter expands things with governments. It's been just sitting here at 17 degrees Capricorn at the top of the chart over Washington, D.C. So this has been active for like a week, maybe. This isn't going away. They can't hide from what they did. So now we've triggered, this eclipse was triggered because of the last lunation, the bottom 14 degrees squaring the ascendant, what gave Washington, D.C. life that week. It's kept that active. And Jupiter's been holding the note here of all this treachery and deceit that they're doing. Everything's coming out. Jupiter, Pluto, I don't know where they are right now, but Jupiter, Pluto has everything to do with like military stuff. So that's why we're seeing so much military stuff. It's very much activated right now, and now Mars is going to retrograde. We're going to hear more about that stuff. And then you know what else we're going to hear about? I'm glad I decided to check this out. We are 2 days away from this anniversary. And by the way, I cannot say or type this combination because every time I do, my stuff gets demonetized. It's so weird. But back, I think, before I moved, like April, May, the North Node, the ecliptic path around the Earth. The North Node is where we have our new moon eclipses. The North Node is where that eclipse path crossed Earth's crust. And so it's kind of like an imaginary fault line, an energetic fault line that just kind of sits there. And every time something goes over it, it's activated. Well, I was reviewing the nodes switching into Gemini, and that the last time we had the nodes in Gemini was shortly after this. But at the time leading up to that, I was relating to how we had this really sensitive point around Cancer, 3 degrees, that ends up killing people. Prominent on this day, prominent the days where COVID spiked with our deaths and everything here. I traced it back to several incidents. So when we go back to this day, I, a while ago, looked at the eclipses before this day because that's actually what was imprinted, and then this day came and then there was a trigger, right? By the way, the moon was in Gemini that day, the twins, the twin towers. Today, the moon is in Gemini. So this was the last eclipse over Washington, D.C., and what do we have here? The highest point over D.C., 14 degrees Gemini. I would expect more of this information to be coming out, okay? The North Node was not in Gemini yet. It still had, this was in July 5th. So again, this eclipse was over the United States sun. It was eclipsed back on July 5th on her birthday. And the North Nodes move backwards. And so click, 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 click. The sun goes forward. Oh my God, look at this. Okay. Today is the, just a second. The sun is, okay, the current transits. I'm going to write this down. The sun right now is 17 degrees Virgo. On this day, it was probably like 18, 19, 20 Virgo. I don't know. We're right on the cusp of that. The sun right now is 17 degrees. The eclipse prior to this day, the ascendant is 16 degrees Virgo. Oh my God. Squaring Mars, squaring Pluto, squaring... Okay. You guys, something's happened. I don't know what's up. I would expect more of this type of news, especially as we come into this quarter moon and into the new moon. Something is up. Something is up. Wow. Oh my God, look at this. So you guys know I always talk about this part, this sector of the horoscope. This is the eastern horizon. This is the western horizon. So like above it is the sky. Below it you can't see because these planets are on the other side of the world. We can't see them. So whatever activity happens there, you can't see. But I have always talked about this section, the 5th house of the sun, the leader, the cusp of that. Listen to this. Holy crap. It's 18 degrees Capricorn. Hello. Jupiter is opening this point up as well. Something with Photis, something with the leader, something with the rusher, because it's kind of coming out more and more that there is a link between 9/11 and who funded it. You know, Stubb. You guys know why I call him Stubb? Because when he was KGB, he was so short. He had to go over, he was the coffee boy. He was so short, his nickname was Stubb. Can you believe that? Something's up here. I don't know what. Something is up here. So these were some things I wanted to show you. I think this is all. Yes. There were some terrascopes. Oh my God. Let's see if I can tell you this other story. Okay, let me check in with you guys. I want to tell you another story, but we got to get to some cards. So let me know what your questions are related like today from the cards. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Impish. For entertainment purposes. Yes, Julie Hansen, 18 Capricorn. You know. Right, Donald. Well, who knows? A stub? Those stubby hands? Who knows? Oh, I don't know if she's interviewing Woodward. What time is it? Because we all want to go see her by 8. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting your time with Chris Hayes. So, here we go. Hi, Marjorie. Oh, hi, Becca. I can't wait to catch up with everybody. He called his generals that. Holy cow. I know. Something's always up. But it's going to, actually, Donalyn, it's going to be more exhausting because now the gates are open. They're permitted to be open. Okay? So, okay. So, Julie Hansen. No, Tom Cotton, he's not. He's not. Moreover, Tom Cotton tweeted tonight to do away with Roe versus Wade. Ignore him. The reason why he's tweeting that is because it provokes a reaction with women, passionate women voters, defenders of Kamala. When you tweet back, if your location is on, they know your IP address, you're zeroed in with your location. If that voter roll has been hacked in that area, your location can be cross-referenced if you have a username that gives your information away. But if you've given your phone number, the mobile phone number that you use with your address or your voter information or your mobile numbers associated with a social media address, they can look that up even more quickly to find out what that mobile number, the accounts that number is associated with on social media. you can basically go to any social media platform. I haven't checked this recently, but you can enter in a friend's email or a phone number to find someone. This is why micro-targeting is so easy for them to do, and they need so much information and potentially compromising weaknesses about you as a voter. That is why the Americans were in Boston when they retraced all the things that they were doing, that they were transmitting in Morse code every single night. It was because this couple was transmitting information about major players in the area, where they were sighted, what they were doing, what their weaknesses are. So now with micro-targeting social media accounts and information, they don't really need to send spies abroad to get that detailed of information, in my opinion, like they used to. Because this setup with the Americans who came supposedly from Canada, they cultivated this lifestyle for decades. And that's all they were supposed to do, was transmit information over and over and over, and when it was time for them to spring into action, they would. That's why this micro-targeting stuff is just so deadly. Russia has more information than you can possibly... I'm not going to go there. I'm done talking about... Watch your data and go vote, you guys. Okay, so Tom Cotton tweeting that is to provoke reaction, because they've got their trolls, their digital armies that swarm and they watch who react, and then they go look at the accounts and they egg them on, or they try to humiliate them. But at some point, someone is doing the research to find out who you are and how much of a nuisance you are, in my opinion, to cross-reference with the voter databases that have been hacked. Which brings me to today, speaking of, the Bob Woodward article. No, it was on CNN. Disclosed today that Russia inserted malware in 2 counties in Florida on their voter registration. Well, it was on their servers. I don't know if it was registration or election specifically, and how they target the voters. I posted that in the community today. I was floored. I re-listened to it and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so smart. Where'd she get this information? Oh my gosh. So, like I said, if all of this stuff is coming together for me on so many ends, I would tell you this past week or two, I really feel like when I do these check-ins, I feel like everything is, all the loose ends are getting tied up. I can't believe how many things are working seamlessly together that I couldn't see before. It's all, the picture is coming into a finer focus, which tells me our law enforcement is so far ahead of this game, because I can only share what I think is allowed to be shared to a certain extent, right? Okay, so how are you guys doing? Oh, hi, thank you. Yeah, he is so clueless. Oblivious to the fact that he was confessing to reckless, right, Becca, right? Killing tens of thousands. Yes, totally oblivious. I did a teroscope on his comeuppance. There's more people involved this week from last week. Oh my God, Junior. They are working. There are so many people still working with Konstantin Kalimnik. I think that he was part of the staging with all the protesters last week. How do I explain this? So, should we talk about Junior or Kalimnik or Tom Cotton? Oh, you know what? Here. Tom Cotton. So you know how I do these teroscopes, and we figured out how to get these areas communicating with one another. So in this last one, for example, where's my original? I took it out, didn't I? Okay. Oh, I put it to the side. Okay. So what we knew is the thing that was giving DC life this week on the ascendant for Tom Cotton, it had to do with the government and balancing this Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles, today in my video, that is about how they would use, well, if it's malware or a microchip, how information is transmitted back and forth, like in a tightrope. So what giving him life this week has to do with the government and that data transfer. The astrology said go to the first house of self. He drew the Wheel of Fortune. That is timing. That's, for me, been related to the timing, whether it's like flipping votes, getting a rush of votes suddenly at the last second for Republican, or the timing of provocation against peaceful protesters. So he's got data and information with the government that he's supposed to use at the right time. So the astrology said, then look to shared resources. So we look at his timing, we look at the information he has to act on, and that says the shared resource is the King of Wands. That is, for me, Angry Putin / MBS. You following? This is him this week. Donald wants him on SCOTUS so that he can protect him and not release these secrets. And then, in this area, income, values, gains. Oh, the Judgment card. I'm going to gain in judgment. Maybe I'll be SCOTUS someday. Which then said, this area of gains, being a judge, look to this area of communications, which is the Knight of Cups. Donald making an offer, right? Then when we look at this area, defense of USA, our home, our clan, our karma, he has the Six of Swords. I defend ourselves by transmitting information abroad. That's the Six of Swords, sharing information. But what is pointing at him? The 11th house over here, hopes, wishes, friends, tells us that the King of Swords, probably Bill Barr, or a hacker, gave instructions over here, send me your information. In the 5th house of the Sun, this is discussing the King of Cups. That's my Putin card. He sees Putin as POTUS. In this area, this has to do with a public servant or an investigation or the military. So he's tempering. Tom Cotton is blending all this information that he has abroad because it's in Sagittarius. So he's taking information that he has as a public servant and blending it with whatever from abroad, lands far away, told him to blend with the voters. In this area of partnership, who is his partner in crime? The Nine of Pentacles, an oligarch. Could be Betsy DeVos, Chow. Yeah, all them. All those type of people. Eric Prince. And then those are his partnerships, and what they do with those shared resources is work on timing. In this area, lands far away, King of Wands. Tom Cotton drew then the Two of Wands. This is a plan. So he's taking data, he's working on timing, he's blending information with wealthy oligarchs per Putin MBS to develop a new plan abroad for law enforcement and at home. Oh my gosh, KY Jelly. KY Jelly. That's Kim Jong-un's sister. I can't say her name. Lined up with that plan, and so did artificial intelligence and micro-targeting. They're all doing, this is like a world, global thing. What's crowning Tom Cotton? He's the holder of the propaganda and the data. That's what's crowning him. So what's crowning him in DC today is his flipping stupid tweets about getting rid of Roe v. Wade, provoking people, and all the news he's making with Donald, which is just for splashy data purposes. Because his hope, his friend, is the King of Swords, who wants information in his secret, is the Five of Wands, the fighting on the streets and the obstruction, and his hidden enemy, the Queen of Cups, is the United States of America, the U.S. voter. This is what's going on. I hear that for Ted Cruz. He's there to protect, essentially, Melania, the, whatchamacallit, Inauguration Committee, and, Ivanka, WikiLeaks, and then Josh Hawley has the Presidential Inaugural Committee. Okay, oh my goodness, thanks you guys. 7:40. Okay, we still have a little bit of time. Thank you. So, and then again, that book, Melanie and Me, she gave up so much information. These people have got to be freaking out. Oh, Rick Gates and Ivanka, that's what SWW calls her. Ivanka, like this. They were communicating every day. I cannot even imagine what Rick Gates has given up on her. Oh, and talk about meddling. She's just nasty on moving in on Melania's territory, but oh well. So, I think the Rick Gates stuff is what brings her down, because Rick Gates entered very early on. Rona Graff enters. Oh, Walter Kinsey, this guy was brought in by Rick Gates. He's in a heap of trouble because I would guess Donald would want to make him a SCOTUS too, because he's another like back channel type, and he's a CEO from Texas that Rick Gates brought in. He's related to Mattress Firm. I know that there's some weird stuff going on with them. Oh, he's from the NRA, a school friend of Don Jr. For the concert after the inauguration, they were trying to coordinate camouflage and cufflinks. Bonus, sit with me. Gross. I'm telling you, Melania's book, not Melania's book, but Melania and Me, there's so much information. I love it. It's so great. It's so great. Okay, so what am I reading on, you guys? So, oh yeah, hi Beth, welcome. Welcome to the live. I'm glad that I kept you so captivated, right? Oh, wait, you guys have moved down here. I'm sorry. I gotta get all the way down here. Yeah, it's really, I can't wait to read what you guys are talking about. Hi Keisha, hi Kathy. Besties. Thank you, Donalyn. Oh, I just want to give a shout out to your mom. She's so sweet, Donalyn. You guys, I read on her mom. Just so sweet. Just so sweet. Okay. So, okay. Oh, Bill Barr. Bill behind bars. Bill behind bars. He's got a story. I'm going to tell you his stuff. I mean, he is so bad. Of course we know he's bad. But Bill Barr, who is he hanging out with? He's palling around with the wrong people. Bill Barr. Yeah, Bill Barr's the one moving data. Oh, I think he was behind the protests and trying to get that set up because he's got the timing and the agreements. Yeah, I hate reading on Bill Barr. Can you give me something more specific about Bill Barr? You're welcome. Oh, I don't think that's happening. I just think that, okay, I'm going to get my bias out. Because nobody's been talking about that today, have they? Bill Barr taking over this case? That's kind of the tell, because they let the media report on what they want out there. People were losing their mind rightfully, when that came across. For me, the vibe felt like we're going to throw this out there so to distract you while the tsunami of other crap is coming out. Hopefully you guys will talk about it all day the next day and you won't catch onto anything that's come out. I haven't even been able to check abroad because there's stuff that's coming out with, you know, WikiLeaks and Assad. Oh, I can't say that. I'm going to get... Anyway. Bill Barr. Justice Department. Donald's case. I just want to know how these all relate to each other. Is the DOJ really... Oh, no, we're going to do Bill Barr, Donald, DOJ. Okay. Lordy. Reverse this. Okay. Show me Bill Barr. Supposedly, the Department of Justice, whoops, is going to dip. The star fell out. That's FOTUS. He hopes he can. Okay. Bill Barr. Covered in. Oh, I cannot even get these apart. Holy cow. Covered in. Okay. Donald, your case. It's like he's already forgotten about this. What are you covered in with this suggestion? Department of Justice is crowning you guys. Is it the basis of this? Final outcome. Bill Barr, how do you relate to that? How do you relate to this? Going across. You bridge to Donald and Donald bridges back. These cards, they just feel empty and tight. Fighting. Everybody's fighting about this now. Everyone's fighting and talking. There's secret talks going on, but you guys keep fighting. We're going to talk behind the scenes. What else do we have? Because we have a mountain of crap to talk about. Or mail. We're not even talking about mail. Oh boy. Okay. Bill Barr. Setting this up and walking away. It was a setup, covered, and just trying to blend ideas and information and the law. Let's set this up, see what happens. Donald. Magic. Yay. Make me some magic. Government, please. I'm covered by the government. I need a magic getaway. Barr bridges him with all of... Bill Barr has a lot of burdens. These are usually the election burdens. Donald bridges back to him because of, the money. These are also Bill Barr's money problems he has. Holy cow. Donald gave him money. I think money was laundered back to him. DOJ is an establishment. This is not the White House. This is the House of Justice, the Department of Justice, covered by an offer that was made. This was just talk. The night is kind of fleeting, kind of infatuated with that idea. Bill Barr relates to this by the Republican Party. This isn't about a woman. The Republican Party. And or white supremacists. Donald, timing, fortunate, help me at the base of this is going to jail. That woman needs to be quiet. And the court case that's happening. Final outcome. The Justice Department says, what? The Justice Department. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. We'll work on that. Maybe not. No, because here's Speaker Pelosi. Whoa. Yeah, people are pissed off. That's not, it's not going to happen. Okay, so hey, I'm going to get going, you guys. I just want to hop on quickly before Rachel Maddow so we could all kind of catch up, get on the same page. I hope you guys are feeling better, feeling good. We have a quarter moon, so the momentum's going to change. It's going to change here overnight. Tomorrow will feel different, but it's a quarter moon, and quarter moons are crisis points, and I'll get back to you on that tomorrow. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I love hanging out with you guys. We're another day closer, and to get closer to the end that we all want, we still have to go through a ring of fire of garbage that we've been wanting to see, but not really. Right? So, take care of you. Have a good evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, T-Barb. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Robin. Yes, thank you, my wonderful, wonderful moderators. I love you guys. Thank you, John. Yes, for sure. More stuff is coming out. Oh, yes. Oh, I have to. That kitty is getting. The kitty is so cute. So funny. Thank you. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you. Alternative Health Tarot. Oh, I need to get some mineral stuff. Larry Girl, thank you. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. See you later.